The culture of hate, the culture of saying fuck you, of being able to jump immediately and judge one another. This is stimulated by this week, and it gets stimulated every week by something in the media, but this time about football players taking a knee to the national anthem and how it disgraces our country and flag and all this other sort of stuff, and how they're not being heard and this person isn't being heard and Donald Trump is great or he's the cause of it all, and so on and so on. And see, the thing is we've moved into a culture, not just a nation, but a sense of humanity, a sense of people, and an expression of ourselves that is no longer about who we are, what we think, and now it is about some sort of cause, some sort of political thing that somehow is supposed to make sense in this one weird way that's surrounded by facts, but not about the human experience. And the more we deny that, the more we are left with a shell of what we're really fighting to express with people and value amongst ourselves. And we become a broken culture, a broken world. Not just a broken nation, but far, far beyond that. This is The Daily Awesome. I'm Steve Mayeda. I'm your host of this. And if this is your first time here, give this video a watch. If you like it, interact with it, consider subscribing and being a part of what we do. Now, what we do is we talk about men's development. We talk about everything that can possibly have to do with bettering your perspective as a man. But we don't just do this from a singular voice like myself. We do this like this call is being recorded on September the 27th of 2017 on our TSL Online call and our Men's Development Excellence call. This is a Wednesday night where we unify as men and we talk about things which better ourselves. We usually stay out of politics. We stay out of the black and white, which we're going to talk about tonight. And we talk about the choices that you make as a man to better yourself. If you like this, the free stuff link down below will take you to a page where you can watch this video. You can download our video courses. You can download our PDFs, but most importantly, join our groups and be a part of this discussion. It's something that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world, and it happens throughout the week on all of our calls and our groups. That all being said, let's get back to this. So we have a problem. When do we not have a problem? Whether it's feminism or men's rights or Black Lives Matter or, patriotism, NFL overpaid players that are somehow disrespecting and disgracing the flag and so on. And we turn our discussions as a people, not even as just a nation anymore, but as a people of a culture where this is respected, where we want to be either the black or the white, the good or the bad. And if you're on the black side, you are convinced that the white side is wrong. And when you're on the white side, you're convinced that the black side is wrong. And the more that we define ourselves in that way, the more we divide. The less we become an expression, and we live in the trap of the black and white. We live in that world where it's us versus them. We leave our choice at the door. We leave the things that we value and probably that we're fighting for at the door. And what is this really about? Because what I see happening is people discussing about this and they get heated. They start stating some stats. They start talking about the issues. And I'll tell you this, if I were somebody that we're talking about, like, man, there's a reason to protest. Man, there's a reason why I say this. There's a reason why I feel that things aren't being voiced to me. The last thing that I want to hear is that I'm wrong. And the last thing that I want to hear are a bunch of stats about why this thing it should not be respected. And this goes for both sides. You think about it, you see this over and over again, but we as human beings cannot see what we are doing. And think about this. Man, the man that is upset, that they're offended. Let's say players taking the knee. You've disrespected the nation. You've disrespected the flag. You've disrespected these things. To the guy that's, lives in that world that's taking the knee or so on, or has chosen that side of it, says, man, fuck you. You know what I go through. Blah, 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 blah. We stopped listening to one another. And I'm not saying you can't have a choice, but we have now started to think that to entertain that side, that let's say I'm an anti-Trump guy, but I start to entertain what a pro-Trump guy thinks or whatever the fuck it is, that I start going, man, I've put myself in danger, that I might be infected by something. And see, that's the problem. We make a big deal. We make a tragedy out of something that happens that may not even directly affect us. We make a tragedy of something that does affect us, but we take it out on social media. We make a tragedy about something to justify hate towards people that we don't know. And nothing that you believe in and nothing that you value should be something that fuels that sort of hate, that sort of anger, that sort of confusion, and that sort of dissonance amongst people. See, here's the thing, man. What does it mean to be a member? What does it mean to myself being American? But what does it mean to be a member of the world? What does it mean to be a member of this group? What does it mean to be a member of whatever party or ideology that you belong to? If it means that I have to have an enemy, if it means that I am constantly under duress or threat, then what can I be? Who am I? And see, at the core of this all, I don't think that that's what this is about. But somehow we've turned it into that. We've turned our choices into sensationalism. Many years ago, of course, if you listen to the TSL podcast, you know that we've done this with sex. Sex isn't about communication. It's about selling something. It's about the bright lights. It's about hysteria. It's about porn. It's about conservative values. It's about marriage. It's about all this. But it's not about what you feel in your body anymore. It's not about the act that you have that's intimate with somebody. It's not about a choice. And the more that we take that expression out of our lives, the more we fight for a definition to make sense out of this. And the more that we do that, then we start seeing a right and wrong with things. And that is a sad thing, because we have taken the humanity out of the fuels that drive us, which this is about identity. This is about hearing me. All these points have validity to them. But why are we speaking past each other? Why do we fuel the divide? Why do we fuel the stuff which makes us see us as separate? And I want to end with this is a story. So I have a brother, amazing guy. My brother's awesome. He is somebody that every single person who knows him respects him. And it's almost impossible not to. As an athlete, as a professor, as an academic, as somebody who's so accomplished in his life to make the choices that he makes and the determination and dedication, people respect him. But his ideas about things, maybe his choices, maybe his things that he believes in politically, are things that I may not agree with. And they're things that all those people that respect him also may not agree with. But that's not a reason to hate him. And the reason why is because my brother and I, we grew up together. We shared love together. That carries over. His friends that he went through experiences with, they shared something that meant something far beyond a choice or a page in a book, or maybe a chapter in the book of his life, and are able to see so much more. Why would we do that? Why would we? I don't care if you're a feminist. I may disagree with it. I don't care if you're a men's rights activist. I don't care about all these other things, but we've gotten so good at saying fuck you to people we don't know. Saying fuck you just because somebody can't hear us. Saying fuck you just because we can't share and exchange something. And we've mastered that skill. And we think that's what we call friendship, life, values. That's a reaction. And that's a sad, sad world we live in. See, here's the thing, is in my life, I've fucked up a lot. And I've had to stick my hand out for help. And many times that person who helped me up, that awesome core moment of humanity, has been somebody that I got to know and I disagreed with on so many levels. But that gift, that force, and I'm not saying you need some dramatic thing in your life to make you see this, but that gift of that force where I just needed help and I got to feel that and see that, know compassion, and I needed love and I got that. Man, that made me overlook whatever their stance was on perhaps a matter of racism, perhaps a matter of abortion, or, do we like Mexicans and so on. What I learned is there's a human connection that comes into play that overrides all this stupid shit. And when we live that, we become great people. Great people. God, unity is beauty. Because when we can unify and see what brings us together, what makes us the same, what cannot change, that brotherhood, that love, those different things that we have, then we can rise to be individuals. But like I always say, especially with the sexes, if you're a man and you live a life without women, you have now chosen a life against women. If you're a woman and you choose a life without men, you choose a life against men. Because you're denying parts of yourself, drivers within yourself, to be a part of so much. That all being said, within my life, I've learned to also reach out my hand to other people. And what kind of a fucking person would I be to deny compassion, love, caring, all these different things that I value in myself because I've lived them, just because of what somebody thought that I didn't agree with? And more importantly, it's probably something that I don't understand. Fuck. That is a beautiful act to be able to do and live in those sorts of ways. And if you think that if you do that, that somehow that brings you into danger, that somehow you are compromising yourself in a way where you could get hurt and harm other people, man, expression doesn't live in fear. Expression doesn't live in scarcity. Expression lives in openness. And you know what? You don't have to be an idiot to stay alive or not die or not get attacked. But that's how we create wisdom. That's how we create choice. That's how we create a man who can determine when's the right time to put up his guard and when's the right time for him to share some of the greatest qualities about himself. And people aren't teaching that. I don't know what your stances are on things, but you know what? I want to know you and the man behind what you believe, or the woman behind what you believe, rather than the woman that I see on the surface, the man I see on the surface. Let's live that world, man. Let's live what that is. Man, that is a fucking beautiful thing. And if we created a world with that, and individuality out of that, fuck, man. I could only wish for it. In any case, guys, this is the Daily Awesome Podcast. I'm Steve Mayeda. These calls are fueled by tons of guys. There's actually 10 guys around the world right now talking to us that I'm going to shut up and we're going to go back to that discussion. We do it every Wednesday night. We do it on Thursdays. We do it on Saturdays. We do it on Sundays. We do it on Mondays, where we connect and unify as a group and create something what I call accountability, which isn't you saying, oh, I'm going to do this or this and that, or these bad things are going to happen. But it's that I am a part of something. I have an identity of who I am, and what I do and how I am affects you. And within that, we have a brotherhood that we believe in ourselves. And why would you want to let that down? So when we create that sort of thing, man, we live good lives, and we live good lives as men. So that's what this podcast is about. And if you like it and you want to be a part of it, the best thing that you can do is click that free stuff link, where you can also find in the show notes on YouTube is the annotations that we put up in this, and the different things that we may have left out because they're all done live. But you can click on what I would say is join our Men's Development Excellence group. That is a great first step for you to see what we're all about, where you can rise to who you were born to be. Because man, when you live the force of nature that's you, that's expression, that isn't wrapped up in all these fucking labels that you try and live by because it's hard to just be yourself. Man, that's an awesome thing. So check that out. Feel free to take any of our free PDFs, video courses, and all that sort of stuff, and join us. Man, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you resonated with it. If you didn't, leave a comment either way, or whatever, or email me, contact me. I love interacting with guys where we can actually have a dialogue. But whatever. I'm Steve, signing off. I'm talking too much, and we'll talk to you guys soon.